Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your home is going into foreclosure and you feel like a financial wreck. You don't know where to turn for accurate information. I'm bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne. Let's talk about some legal options. If we work quickly, we can propose a plan to save your home, modify the loan, or in many cases even eliminate your second mortgage. The consultation is free. I've helped hundreds of people just like you make informed decisions about whether to save their home or exit it on a reasonable, organized timeline. The chapter you choose sets the tone for the next chapter of your life. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. All right, look, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's a dude, Eric Butts. He's a blogger. Butts the blogger. And he posted a reaction video to Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, the trailer that was released last week. And he has just been beaten up over this. Now, I have not seen this, but I've heard people talk about it. I just didn't get around to actually seeing his response.
Oh, have you seen the trailer?
I've seen the trailer.
I finally watched it this morning because I just saw that story about him being made fun of. So I'm like, I need to see this trailer. I don't personally understand how someone cries to it, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. It looks good, though. There's 24 million people have already watched the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer looks good, and I'm very excited. But like you, Steve, and again, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I love Star Wars a lot. I was there when I was 17 years old, blown away by Episode 4. The first time it was on screen, and I've been there ever since.
Right.
And I did not have any kind of emotional reaction like Eric Butts did.
It didn't seem like there was much going on in the trailer. It had a lot of really cool scenes, but I didn't see anything like emotional that happened. But yeah, it's interesting to hear that from you because I just assumed, okay, well, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. Maybe that's why I wasn't hitting the feels.
And he's getting mocked all over the internet. And sure, listen, it sucks when anybody gets mocked on the internet, especially if somebody's mean. Now, there's a difference in my life between being mocked, like in a mean, vicious way, and then being ridiculed or criticized, I should say. If someone might go, dude, seriously?
Okay.
I don't think that's mocking. I think that's like, hey, look, man, I got to tell you. Because I didn't have the same response. If you haven't seen the video, you go to the BJ and Migs page of KISW.com. This will be my first time hearing his response.
Oh, good.
To the trailer of the new Star Wars movie coming out in December.
We're here today to watch the first teaser for Star Wars Episode 9. Here we go.
We've passed on all we know. But this is your fight.
Be able to see it through the tears. Oh, it's gorgeous. What? No, the Emperor. Yes. Oh my God. How do they make this more and more epic every time?
I have to see, I'm split with this because...
Oh, come on. This is too much.
Well, here's why I'm split. Because at least he's not a guy hating on the Star Wars movies. I'm so sick of all that on the internet. At least here's someone who's genuinely... he's genuinely positive about it. So, and at the same time... this response is like, man, I saw the trailer too, dude, and I'm excited and I can't wait, but man,
as a Star Wars fan, can we just conclude that all Star Wars fans are dorks? Based off of this.
So for a nerd like you to call someone a dork, I'm not sure what that means.
The hierarchy, it's about the same. As one included,
So what's worse than the list of derogatory terms? Nerd, geek, or dork?
Well, they're different. They're differentials. Dork is really on the bottom.
I regret even asking.
Do you want to get into this?
No.
Yeah, why did you do that? Why'd you ask him?
That was just a stupid question.
Geek is the top of the rung. We took that word back.
Geek is cool.
We're proud. Geek is chic.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah, nerds are smarter and dorks are just the bottom of the
I don't like being called a nerd. I still think...
I'm going to start crying.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Dude, at first I thought he was just, hamming it up, and then I'm looking at his face. His eyes are all kinds of bloodshot. It's crazy. The only moment I think would be worth tearing up over is seeing Rey hug Leia. Because Carrie Fisher's no longer with us, and that hug was very awesome.
I'll be honest, though. I want to go see this movie with him. I want to be there next time.
Oh, yeah, dude, you're going to have a great time.
This would be the greatest experience ever.
No doubt about it. If you can see a movie with somebody who's that invested in it, any movie, that's a great experience.
Steve, you're going to miss the entire movie. You're just going to watch him.
Yeah.
That's completely fine, Rev. I'll buy 2 tickets, one for right after that so I can watch it for real.
Star Wars, The Rise of Butts.
Okay, that doesn't sound
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'd pay to watch Butts cry.
Yeah, there you go. Wasn't that a Prince song? Well, Mark Hamill, of course, who plays Luke Skywalker, after seeing the video and hearing about all the trolling that Butts received, Mark posted this. He said, "Thanks for sharing your amazing reaction to the trailer. It was inspiring to see you transported with joy and anticipation of 9, which is the episode number. Why anyone would ridicule someone so passionate and clearly enjoying what he's seeing is beyond me." Yeah, I think that, just the internet's a mean place anyway.
Yeah, welcome to the internet, Mark Hamill.
But I mean, I feel like you can be critical of the dude, but not be mean.
Sure. I think you could say, I don't understand why he's getting this worked up over it. Yeah, even when Texter says the trailer's great, it's not cry-worthy.
Yeah, and at the same time, look, if the dude's that invested, I see no... Let's be honest. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
And I'm looking at Danny.
Danny doesn't know how to cry.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm looking at Danny. And Danny, I think you can back me up on this. If you are sensitive enough to cry at this, then ridiculing you, I mean, really, like trying to hurt your feelings would be a cruel thing to do because you're already super sensitive anyway.
Sure, but I feel like I would own it at that point because, like, I cry at Titanic almost every time, and it's one of those
things. I cry when I know you watch Titanic every time.
I mean, that's fair, but
Stevie, I mean, you should see Stevie.
You guys ridicule me every day for watching Titanic, but I know that I love that movie, so it doesn't really hurt my feelings. Just saying.
He has to know, though, putting this video up there, him bawling over this trailer, it's going to lead to some people goofing.
I hope he knows that. I really do, Steve, because you're right. I mean, you are putting yourself out there. You're a blogger. I hope his skin is somewhat thick enough because that's life. If he just did this and someone else posted it but without his knowledge, then that's super cruel to make fun of the dude. But he's putting himself out there.
I don't know what I said to get this kind of reaction. Someone's like, pipe down, wrestling guy. Okay.
Wow. Pipe down wrestling guy.
You were just asking questions.
Guy. Yeah. And I've been the first to say, as a wrestling fan, I'm just right there with the rest of you geeks. Like, wrestling is just as geeky as any sci-fi stuff.
I've seen you cry.
In fact, I was about to say, and it's embarrassing, but I'll admit to it. Granted, I didn't do a review on YouTube and just start bawling my eyes out, but I got really teary-eyed watching WrestleMania when Kofi Kingston won the championship. And it was weird because I'm watching, I'm like, why am I having this emotion? I've never gotten teared up over a wrestling match ever in my life. And I'm watching this match, and I just realized that Kofi, for the last 11 years, man, he's been trying to get the respect that he deserves, and he's kind of kept pushed down and pushed down and pushed down. And he has this epic match against Daniel Bryan, and there's so much going on behind the scenes. He's doing it for the underdogs. He's doing it for the minorities. It's amazing.
I feel like C's about to cry again.
Is he doing it for the minorities?
Yes.
What about Mr. T? Is he doing it for him, too?
Him as well.
Okay.
And then I see former wrestler MVP, is a black dude. They had like a video on him watching this happen, and he got teary-eyed because it was a pretty monumental moment. And I'm sitting there watching this match, and I'm like, why am I tearing up? But no point am I putting it on YouTube.
Yeah, and he's a blogger, so that's his gig. And I just would like to say this to anybody that would be upset at any criticism of this guy. When you put yourself out there and you decide you're going to make it, you want to be a celebrity, because either A, he's making a living, or B, he wants to be a celebrity. The only reason to be blogging in the first place is you want some attention. And you got to have a thick skin. Everybody does have a right to say, dude, what's up? Because that's America. And so I don't say you should be mean to him. Being cruel is just not cool. But being critical, nothing wrong with that at all. I think you can be critical of the dude, but I just don't think you got to be cruel about it.
You know what? He gets the last laugh. He's got over almost 340,000 views on this. He's got 25,000 subscribing to his channel. So his tears equal money.
Yeah. And at the end of the day,
he should cry over everything.
He's crying all the way to the bank. Usually you laugh all the way to the bank, but in his case, you know what? He's going to cry all the way. Danny, why haven't you done this, Danny? Why haven't you made a tearful video that could get all these hits and get Mark Hamill to apologize for you?
I'll do it this weekend when I cry.
I do like this one message that says this dude's probably going to die in the movie theater when he sees the film.
I just love that he loves it that much, because I haven't met anybody who loves the current Star Wars movies that much. All I've heard is hate and vitriol, so at least Eric Butts is, like me, he actually likes the movies and is looking forward to it, and I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
But, Eric, if I was your buddy,
I would say post that.
I'd be razzing the hell out of him. I'm sorry. I mean, because that's what you'd like with Danny. We know him, so we'll give him a hard time. If I didn't know Danny, I probably wouldn't give him a hard time for crying over Titanic. I mean, I would like, oh, wow, he's awfully emotional.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
I know you know that guy's unique.
Yeah.
I just kind of move on with my day.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We got to tell you about a 300-pound robber who picked the wrong elderly woman to rob. Oh, yeah. Steve's got the Mix Report for you at 6:17.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle.
If you're hearing an informative newscast right now, well, then you must not be listening to BJ and Migs.
No.
Live from the KISW News Center in downtown Seattle, this is the Migs Report.
With Stevie.
That's right. Hi, it's Stevie. And thank you, Snoqualmie Casino, for giving us the Migs Report. And also, a very special day for all of us. We get to celebrate this.
Yeah.
We do it every day. Happy National Amateur Radio Day. And it's also National High Five Day, people.
Oh.
Nice. High five.
Hey.
High
Come
five.
on. Come on, white guy. High five me.
High-fiving white guys.
I can't get a high five.
That's right. Oh.
Thanks.
Wow, you just
High fived the glass, so that worked.
Oh, I left the handprint, and my hand hurts.
Dude, not for nothing. It's how cheap is the glass in here because you rattled that.
I did.
Jesus, it's supposed to be soundproof.
No wonder why it's not soundproof. That thing is paper thin.
Yeah.
Well, happy Amateur Radio Day.
Happy Amateur Radio Day.
Oh, Vic.
Are you guys the same? Whenever somebody, like a lot of times, like someone will come somewhere and they have like their kid with them, and they're just like, "Hey, meet my kid." Every time I always just go for a high five with every kid.
Oh yeah,
that's all I ever do. If I see a child, I want a high five.
Yep.
It's funny because nowadays I'm like, high five. I do the same thing, but then they look at me weird. I'm like, fist bump?
Yeah.
And then they like the fist bump better.
You're absolutely right.
Fist bump too, yeah.
The fist bump is the new thing with kids. You're right.
But I'm still a high five kind of guy.
Well,
and when they give you that high five and you get that slap, you're like, yeah, you're a good kid.
Especially when they do it really hard, like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, happy National High Five Day,
Except when they're little and they miss. Because I do low fives because they're little, and if they miss, they go and they hit you in a bad place. Yeah, so that's why I don't low five kids anymore.
I would like to be around when that happens to you. BJ.
Yeah, it happened one time. That's all it needed to do was just one time. No more low fives.
Let's talk about this 65-year-old woman. Her name is Clarice, and she lives in Florida.
Hello, Clarice.
She's a great grandma, and I guess back in high school she was a softball player, and I bring that up because it actually plays into what happened to her as she fought off a 300-pound car thief. In the middle of the night on Sunday, she heard a noise outside of her apartment. She saw this big dude. He was wearing just underwear, trying to break into her car.
Oh, that's a look.
So she opened up the door and she started yelling at him, and then the guy charged at her. Luckily, she had a baseball bat with her, and she tapped into her old softball playing ways, because when he got close, she whacked him in the head with the bat.
There's a drive deep left field.
Here's the thing. She got interviewed about what happened, and the interview is fantastic.
I grabbed my bat. I braced myself. I took that bat and hit him upside the Paya! He said, oh! He got a big knot on his head. He was in his drawers. He didn't have no shoes on, no shirt, or nothing. He better be glad I didn't have a gun, because I would have shot him. But this is my gun right here, because I was going, Paya!
Can she be my grandma?
Oh, my God. I love this woman. Can she be our official correspondent to everything?
Baya!
Love this woman.
He went running off to a trailer park nearby. The cops found him. He's a 37-year-old dude by the name of Antonio. He had cocaine on him, so he didn't have shoes, but he did have cocaine, and he was arrested for burglary and drug possession.
I was a little worried because the only guy that I know that goes to a trailer park in his underwear is Randy.
Baya!
You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for some burgers, it's the only time I ever see anybody go to a trailer park in his whiteys.
And she's not the only badass old woman that's in the news today. How about this Arkansas woman by the name of Sherry?
Hiya!
She's known as Granny Hulk. And the reason why she's known as Granny Hulk, it's going to make you feel like a weakling, BG.
Okay.
BJ, or BG. She broke the world record for deadlifting in her class and division. Now, she's 70 years old.
Come on.
Or she's about to turn 70. She's only 123 pounds.
What?
She deadlifted 305 pounds.
God, she's amazing and nice soul. Wow. 70-year-old, 120-something pounder just lifting up.
And you're probably thinking, oh, she's probably been a weightlifter her entire life. No, she started when she was 60, so there is hope for you, BJ.
Okay.
She did it to offset osteoporosis.
I love this person.
Fire!
We've had, you know what? The old people are ruling today, Steve.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome, man.
It
Deadlifting
really
over
is.
300 pounds. She's only 123 pounds, and she's 70.
Those two should team up and fight crime.
And maybe they could ask Russell Wilson to also help them fight crime because he did a big press conference yesterday.
Oh, from bed?
No, not this time from bed.
See y'all in the morning.
Although it would have been great if they did set up a bed at the VMAC, and him, John Schneider, and Pete Carroll are all in bed. You don't think?
That would be so cool.
I'm going to see y'all in the morning.
Well, he did see us all in the morning, and he did a press conference with Pete and with John talking about the fact that they just signed a monster deal, making him the highest paid NFL player. And during the interview, people were like, oh, okay, what made you decide to make all this happen? And he said that he wanted to be a Seahawk for the rest of his life, and a big part of it is because of his family.
You always think you're going to be a parent and you're looking forward to that, but to be able to have two kids and to see birth and to see life and to see that life progression, to be honest with you, that's why I wanted to be in Seattle. It's just because, really from the beginning of my professional career, it started here. And my goal was to end it here. My goal was to have a lasting impression on this city. I'm just grateful for this opportunity. And when it came down to it, it was a no-brainer for me to want to be here in Seattle. And, I want to be a Seahawk for life. So that was kind of my mentality. And the guys that I've always admired in sports, the guys that play at those locations for 15, 20 years, guys like Derek Jeter, I want to be like that. I want to be remembered in that sense of what we want to do here in Seattle.
Pretty exciting stuff for us Seahawks
I think
fans.
that's really cool. And actually, I love to hear him say that because I think that does show that you are an elite performer when you stay with one team, especially these days where everybody's jumping around everywhere.
Very true. And, it makes you think about, I started thinking when I watched the press conference yesterday, I just started thinking about, over the years, losing guys like A-Rod because of money, or was it Randy Johnson because of money?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah. A lot of players end up leaving here to go get that big paycheck. So it's cool to see a star player stay here for the big paycheck.
Yeah. And arguably, he could be the greatest Seattle athlete in history if he continues to roll, and if they go to another Super Bowl. I mean, he could be the guy.
Go Hawks.
Yeah.
That's right.
Seattle Bar.
Speaking of the Seahawks, can I give a big shout out to whoever works in the Seahawks marketing department? They just put out the new schedule for the Seahawks this season.
All right.
And they decided to let us know about the team's schedule by turning it into an 8-bit video game where Blitz is taking on football players and jerseys of the teams that we're playing.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Rev, here, just hit the music because they have a great music soundtrack that goes along to the game. That's right. There goes Blitz taking on a Pittsburgh Steeler, a Cincinnati Bengal, maybe a New Orleans Saint, a Cardinal, a Brown. All these teams are going to be playing the Seahawks this season. Really, really cool. How about 5 primetime games this season as well, including a Monday night game against San Francisco. You got a Sunday night game in Philadelphia. You got a Monday night game versus Minnesota. And you also have a Sunday night game taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The best part about this video game theme thing is they've also made little screenshots or little pictures with each game done to a different type of a video game. So they gave a nod to Pitfall, or they gave a nod to Yoshi or Zelda. But my favorite was when they announced the game against the Minnesota Vikings. It was a nod to the Oregon Trail, and it says the Vikings have dysentery. It's pretty awesome, dude.
That is so cool.
Really clever.
Yeah, I love this area. Seriously, we're so geeky that, of course, we would all get that and love that because of where we live. And a lot of folks in the country just don't. That wouldn't fly in other places. That's why I love Seattle.
Apparently, it flies in Carolina as well because the Panthers did something similar, but they made it very Sega themed, and so the Carolina name is in the Sega font.
All right, Carolina, nice represent.
Not bad. Although one person on their page says this is the laziest one I've seen yet.
Oh, come on. It's fun. I mean, it's not as cool as ours, but it's fun.
Yeah, ours is better. Suck it, Carolina.
Yeah. Carolina.
It's nice that we can talk about the Seahawks and the schedule and Russell Wilson and get excited about sports because the Mariners are just not doing it for us. This has been a really tough 6 games. They lost again yesterday. Yeah. Their 6th straight loss. Oh. Man, 1-0.
Yeah, that's a beating.
They just had 3 hits. It was a tough one, and that meant their historic 20-game season opening home run streak over. Although I got to be at the end of the game, Encarnacion was up. I'm like, here it is. This is going to be the home run that keeps it going. Nope. Strikeout.
They had a review. Like, there was a home run that they thought was going to be one, but then it was called back, yeah.
Mariners are off to Anaheim to take on the Angels tonight. The Mariners are currently 13-8, so hopefully they could get a win tonight because it's just been kind of ridiculous. As far as weather, 63 degrees and cloudy, and thank you, Oregon State University, for giving us the Mix Report.
Yeah, at least we can thank the Mariners for giving us a lot of fun in sports until Russell made his announcement and until the football schedule came out. I mean, really, for that week where there wasn't a lot going on, we were excited about sports in Seattle, and then now Russell's got the contract, we got the NFL schedule. The Mariners did their job. They kept us entertained for a week.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
That's really nice of them.
Yeah. I mean, look, we knew this was what we expected. We believed maybe there was a Cinderella dream. And granted, look, I mean, the season's still long. Who knows what the Mariners will do?
They'll figure it out.
But, yeah.
No?
Yeah.
They're going to figure it out. The balls will be thrown at them, and then home run.
Yeah. Look, if we didn't have Houston in our division, maybe I would say sure there could be, but Houston,
they're playing kind of well.
Yeah, they're a good team, and then it's going to be probably Tampa Bay and Houston this year. Is what it looks like.
Looks like the Falcons, they released their schedule similar. They did a Game of Thrones theme.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that the teams are having some fun with these schedule announcements.
I just love the crossover. About 20 years ago, maybe a little over 20 years ago, when the first X-Men movie came out, and I was auditioning to be on a sports station in New York, and I was at the audition, and the guys hated me, and they just hated the fact that anybody was going to be brought in for a third guy. They didn't like it, but the company was like, "You guys, we need to do something. We need to spice up the show." So they brought in me, and they thought, "You're a kind of geeky guy. It'll be kind of fun to have that vibe in there." So X-Men was the #1 movie at the time, so I made reference, and they beat the hell out of me on the air going, "What are you doing? Geeks.
You loser.
Geeks, you loser." Nobody cares about that in the world of sports, and now here we are a time later, and all these things are crossing, and I think that, sports fans and wrestling fans and geek fans, we're just obsessed and love what we love, and we're all appreciating each other for it.
Oh, we just got a text, BJ, says Sounders, they're undefeated, blank holes.
Yep. Well, yeah, but I also know they're in second place.
But they are. You're right. They're behind LA. But I did not know that they were undefeated blank holes.
I just thought they were an undefeated football club.
That's kind of rude to call the Sounders a bunch of blank holes.
Yeah, but and they haven't played. They're playing LA in a day or two, but they haven't played in a bit, right?
I mean, that's just. I'm just more just a.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm shocked that he would call his favorite team a bunch of blank holes.
Oh, in other words, I think he's mad that I said that we've been entertained by the Mariners and didn't give some love to the Sounders.
Oh, he didn't have a comma after the undefeated.
That's what it is. Yeah,
he's calling us blank holes.
We're the blank holes. Yeah, I didn't get it at first.
BJ.
See,
yeah, thanks, man.
If they use the right punctuation
grammar,
in those text messages.
Yeah, because I thought he was making fun of the team.
Right?
And I thought, come on, but it's us.
That's rather rude.
Because
well, maybe that's how they're undefeated. They're a bunch of blank holes.
Yeah. Oh. Well, Danny and Rev are big Sounder fans of the show. They're big supporters.
Sounders fan.
I'm a Sounders fan. I enjoy the sport.
When was the last time you were there?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go this year. I haven't gone this year.
I know Danny's bought the Zoo Lily kit. He's done that.
Yeah, I watch them all the time on TV.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like, I became a soccer fan when I really moved here, but it's and I'm learning about the game. But like when you get into like how they can draw, and then there's the what do you call it, the aggregate?
Yeah,
that stuff is still all really confusing to me.
There's many times I have to text Ted because I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, and then he'll explain it to me because Steve Ted Smith is a huge Sounders.
Yeah,
Ryan, ticket holder.
Yeah, so Ryan Castle. Yeah, our buddy Greg over the end too. Those guys will really, if you really want to learn, look, soccer's a great game. It really, really is. I've actually watched some of the Man U action, the overseas action where you get to see some amazing play, and I have a lot of respect and admiration for the game. I also am an American, so it takes me a while to really, if you will, power down. And Vicky, I know your family loves soccer too.
I played soccer for 9 years, and don't feel bad because I don't understand any of the technical stuff that goes on, for who wins or whatever, but it's a lot of fun. It's really awesome to see, like, when you watch like the Mexican teams play, just how much love and support, and sometimes crazy fans. If you think we have crazy fans,
they're nuts.
Oh yeah,
gosh, you have no idea.
Yeah, well, hooliganism, of course, is definitely tied to soccer.
I have seen a whole soccer field covered in toilet paper. Just because they'll start throwing toilet paper when it starts getting bad.
And that's why the Rev loves soccer.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Free TV, man. Don't have to worry about
it. Are you guys excited about the Nightfall jerseys? The black jerseys or kits, whatever they call. And they got the black with the like hot pink.
Actually, they look good.
They also did release one recently and it has it's like a light bluish teal color.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing all kinds of cool stuff with the kits this year.
I actually do like that black with the pink. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it actually looks sharp on those dudes.
It looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a cool look to it.
I'm almost thinking I wonder if a franchise could adopt that.
Well, they did. They're wearing them.
Well, I mean, this is like a promotional thing. I don't think you're going to see that a lot, but
Danny showed me the blue one. Blue one's cool too, but I think anything with black. I don't care what other color is.
Would you be upset if our hockey team had that kind of a color scheme?
Not at all.
Because that would be unique. I don't think I've seen pink on any sports franchise, major franchise.
It seems kind of 80s. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just seems like it would. People would be coming out to some Miami Vice music or something along those lines.
That. It makes me think of the Hart Foundation too.
Oh yeah, right on.
They were black and pink.
Speaking of that, can I just go back to baseball a little bit here?
The baseball.
I'm so disappointed.
What happened?
I was watching highlights of the Miami Marlins game. They have completely redone that stadium, which was, I thought, so awesome. If you remember, a couple years ago, they redesigned their uniforms and redesigned the stadium. They made it super colorful. They decided to really go super tropical because they're in Miami. I think they wanted to show love to the Cuban Hispanic population. And their stadium was insane. It was like watching a Gigante Sábado or something like that at the stadium.
Sábado Gigante.
Sorry about that.
No, I know that chick that's on that show.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember, but their uniforms were super colorful. The stadium was almost garishly colorful. And I was watching some highlights last night. They've redesigned the uniforms. They're kind of bland and black. It's just like a regular looking stadium now. Huh. It's like, wow, Miami, why? Why did you change it? Everybody hated it? I thought it was so unique and cool.
Was anybody going to the games? They just needed to fix it up a little bit.
I don't think anybody goes to Miami games, unfortunately. Along with Tampa Bay, too. Florida, even though you'd think because of spring training people would love it, but it seems like nobody cares down there, and
they need to have bath salt nights.
Yes.
Oh, that's
it.
Yeah, you're
right.
Jeez. How to do it?
Yep.
Let's go, Steve.
That escalated quickly.
Well, we've got pitch and stitch, but they can have bath salt night.
I also bark at the park.
Oh yeah, bark at the park.
We just had one. The Mariners did.
Yeah,
I got to get Lulu to one of those.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I really don't hate it because we're outside. It doesn't, really seeing dogs inside kind of irritate me, even though I don't know why, because it's not like I'm next to them sniffing them and getting allergies. But outside, I feel like it seems normal that a dog should be there. Wherever you are outside, the dog should be able to go.
I just got to get Lulu a Mariners jersey.
That would be, that would be
those.
semi-adorable.
They definitely have those. They have Seahawk ones. I have a Seahawk jersey for her and a Devils jersey for her.
Why would you hurt her like that and put a Devil's jersey on her?
She doesn't like that jersey.
Yeah, I don't blame her. She wants to be wearing a winner at least. Come on. Our essay, Steve, he got this one right.
What occurs when the sun and the moon are in conjunction as viewed from Earth?
Total eclipse of the heart.
Yes.
Eclipse.
No, thank you, Steven Tyler. Hey, there is a Steven Tyler. Never mind. Are they related? Bonnie? Steven and Bonnie Tyler.
Oh, he was Bonnie Tyler. He called you Steven Tyler.
Oh. See?
Yeah, sorry. That was
No, I don't think they're related, BJ.
Okay. Beat Miggs at 6:47.
Today's podcast is brought to you by bankruptcy attorney Travis Gagne, who's ready to answer your questions about bankruptcy. Travis, is it true that if you filed for bankruptcy once, you can't file again?
Even if you filed bankruptcy before, you can almost certainly file bankruptcy again. Different types of bankruptcies have different time limits between filings. In Chapter 7, full bankruptcy, you can only file Chapter 7 once every 8 years. However, you can almost always file a Chapter 13 case. Chapter 13 cases can be filed immediately following a Chapter 7. They can be filed immediately following a prior Chapter 13 case. Chapter 13 is a reorganization plan, so there will be some type of monthly payment, but it's based on your budget and your ability to afford that payment. So Chapter 13 is an option in almost all cases, even with a prior bankruptcy filing.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Keeping up with the flood of news every single day can be quite stressful. There is climate change happening. There's the pandemic, labor movements, Nicki Minaj's cousin's friend. Hi, I am Gideon Resnick, host of Crooked Media's What a Day. Each week, Travelle Anderson, Priyanka Arabindi, Josie Duffy Rice, and I are going to break down the biggest news stories of the day in a way that hopefully doesn't always make you want to cry. New episodes of What a Day drop every weekday at 5 a.m. Eastern. Listen on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.